And I'm sorry to say that the Sun Supreme Lodge officer was unable to make it. He sent me an email this morning at 1:30. I didn't answer. Effie, Saporito, please stand. Grand Governor, Zone 1, District 6, 7, and 8, Sister Lily Rasmussen. Supreme Governor, Region 4, District 7, 8, 9, Brother Jack Isaac. Skip for the rest of people out. I'm going to ask Sister Grand President Jane Spanish if she would please rise and say a few words.
Challenged, so try to look around and say, well, you know what, I'm going to take it off and move so I can see you and you can see me. I'm not here to make these districts better for the future and stronger than they are today. I congratulate you and wish you all very good deliberations and that we can meet again in Orlando later in the year. Thank you.
On behalf of Supreme President Andrew Zachariadis, it took me 2 years to learn to say that. I'm going to ask Supreme Counselor Brother George Coriadis to speak.
You got a piece of meat though. But that's okay. I enjoy coming up here and spending time with you, particularly at this time of year, when we all have our district conventions all throughout the country. Looks like I caught a good one because you're all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. You got me singing things, and I haven't had my cup of coffee yet. So it's a wonderful time. The reason why it's a good time of year is because we dedicate ourselves on the district level towards the progress of the HEPA. And really the districts and the chapters are the backbone of the order of the HEPA and the backbone of all 4 of our orders. So I congratulate all of you in your deliberations throughout the course of the day. I know it's going to be a busy day for all of us, but always do it with the spirit in mind that we are celebrating something that's very special. You are all special people. HEPA itself this year is celebrating its 95th year in existence. So whether it's a district or local level or nationally, just remember when you wear your pins, you represent something that is bigger, something that is unique, the greatest Greek American organization that we have. Thank you.
Just to give you a tiny bit of history, I'm waiting because I'm trying to get Ellen Anagnostis in the room. Where is she? Why are you hiding? Sure. Oh, Ellen, would you please step forward? Jack, with us today, is not with us today. Jack and I'm going to turn the microphone over to him. We have a little presentation for you.
You know, it was about a year ago when we got the disheartening news that Ellen and George were not going to take care of the tri-district convention. And so we scrambled around. Brother Dalton came and volunteered to be chairman of the committee. You did a Greek volunteering. We got John Melanopoulos volunteer to basically direct the whole thing from here. And over the course of a year, each month, 20 people got together in Worcester. And you know, when you get 20 Greeks in a room and one Assyrian, you have 50 different opinions. And usually there's one bet there with 20 people too, but we didn't have it. And so we're very, very pleased at this point to honor Ellen and George. Those of you who don't know George, and I know most of you do, George is a tremendous man. He is low-key, he's calm, he's quiet. He's a total gentleman. You didn't let me say it.
Is he Greek?
He is Greek. And we are just so enamored of George, and we just thank him so much for everything that he's done over the last few years. And of course, Ellen as well. George could not be here today, but our thoughts and love are with him. And we have a very small token of our appreciation for Ellen and George. Nothing would suffice, I might add. But let me show you what we do have. I thought a timepiece would be appropriate because it's symbolic of the fact that time is fleeting for all of us. And we don't know what the future holds. But the best thing to do is to honor people while they're still with us. And so we honor George and we honor Ellen. Thank you so much. God bless you. Give our love to George and God bless him as well.
For the first time in my life, I'm speechless. Thank you so much. George and I love Dear Help and the Daughters, and we always wanted to do this thing. Couldn't do it this year, but we did it many years, and we loved it. And so, thank you very much.
Brother Greg is going to introduce a gentleman and a lady right now that I've been looking forward to for a while. Brother Greg, the microphone is yours.
Thank you, brother. This story, I think, for me, started in Las Vegas at the National Convention, where I met Brother George Corazia from the Homedale chapter, 517 in New Jersey, and he was presenting a project for the Service Dogs for Warriors program, and he'll explain it better. I won't go into the details, but he and I have been talking, and we kind of believe, you know, my background with being a priest kid and everything, I don't believe anything happens without a good reason, and you know, here we are almost a year later, and this has kind of come full circle. We wanted this convention to be a little bit different, the whole committee, so when I brought the idea forward, I was met with enthusiastic approval from the whole committee. And we started to try to make this happen, and it looks like this is now come to pass. So, with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to our brother George, and we have also, well, I'll leave it to you to introduce everybody else, Brother George. But I'll have a presentation on Service Dogs for Warriors. We have some pamphlets on your table that explain a little bit about that. And without any further
I'd like to thank you for having me today. I met Brother Greg in Washington, we met in Las Vegas, and he always loved this program, Service for Warriors, helping our veterans. And we had spoken about being here, and I'm grateful to be here with you. I'm also a pleasure for me to be here in the presence of the Grand President Jan Spanos. We became friends in Pennsylvania, and she's a terrific person who listened to the presentation. And she was the last one to speak before she was the highest one there. I was street friend who wasn't there, so when it came time for her to speak, she came over to me, she put her arm around me, and she gave me a very generous check, her own personal check. And then she told a story. May I? She told a story that her brother was in Vietnam, and he had 2 weeks left, and he was killed 2 weeks before he was supposed to come home. And so I was a combat infantry soldier in Vietnam. And it's so different what you think you're going to see, but nobody becomes a soldier overnight. Hey, you got for training, you have the gun that does crazy things, but nothing prepares you for what you're going to see. And post-traumatic syndrome, you don't know that you have it. It's not like you come home and on your forehead you see a rash and you say, I have post-traumatic stress disorder. When I came back, I went back to my own neighborhood. I wanted to be with my old friends. And in half an hour going back home, I just felt I no longer belonged to be with them. It's as though we spoke a different language. Post-traumatic syndrome, so just trying to describe it, and I've heard this also, someone else mentioning it, is like, post-traumatic syndrome is like a spider web that has the mind and entraps your mind. You don't want to be entrapped, you want to be normal, but things are difficult. You don't understand what's happening to you. And you'll go to the VA and they'll give you some medications. So what happened? Came home physically, but mentally was still on the battlefield. And so someone would say, came back and had some screws that were loose, you know, shell shock. And I remember when I was in Vietnam, talking to others of my age, we all had dreams, we all had goals. And what I couldn't understand 10 years after I came back, how many Vietnam veterans were homeless. How was that possible? Well, you know, what we know today, well, these poor guys who had post-traumatic stress disorder couldn't keep a job, couldn't pay rent, and they became homeless. 22 veterans today are committing suicide. And I believe it falls to us as Americans, Christians, to take care of them. We can't be on the sidelines here. In 1945, a HEPA came to the national forefront with the war bonds. It was a glorious moment for a HEPA. We became a part of the fabric, and we were leading. And so, like I shared with the Grand President, like, you know, we all meet those politicians, and they, a year later said, yeah, you know that Greek group, you know, they don't know exactly what we do. Well, damn it, next time we meet them and they're having that moment, we're going to remind them what we're doing is we're saving lives, our veterans' lives. This is what AHEPA is doing today. I'm here in Norwood, Connecticut, and it's like, wow, we started this journey from a chapter, went to a district. Did I get lucky in Las Vegas? I'll tell you what happened in Las Vegas. You had to go before this projects committee, a tough, bright group. And they asked many questions. It's hard to get something to become a national project. But when the chairman says, not only do the veterans need this program, AHEPA needs this program because it's a good red, white, and blue program. And this is what we're doing today. 1% goes to war, 99% don't. The math is easy for the 99 to take care of the 1%. We're going to show a movie tonight, but I just want to I want to relate something else to you. I'm reading this book. It's called The Second Chance Dog. And it's the things that make a good fairy tale. It makes a good fairy tale work. And I want you to think from the point of a rescued dog, a combat veteran, from their perspectives, and what makes a good fairy tale work. We're all looking for love and happiness. We are all looking to be saved from a dark and empty life. We are all seeking the rarest of miracles, the second chance. And we have a veteran with us today. I think God is sending her because last year at our district convention of all the veterans, she came all the way from Connecticut and took her 5 hours to get to our convention, but paid back. It took me 5 hours to get here yesterday. So I appreciate that journey from last year. And I'll introduce her after we show the videos. But you're going to see two videos here, and it's basically a tale of two cities. You're going to see two different veterans. The first veteran, they both had post-traumatic stress disorder. First veteran, he didn't have a dog. But we see how the VA treats the veterans and how they deal with this. And we'll see a second one, and he was a combat medic, and how things turned out for him. And so, whenever you're ready.
Now, a News 5 special report. Another...
When this program passed in Las Vegas, when it became a national project, at that moment on the floor when it became, I had an epiphany moment. It wasn't one person driving this. This is our faith. I thought it would be great if we could get a veteran at the convention. And I saw this film months before our convention. I was deeply touched by it. To find out, he moved to Las Vegas a month before our convention and lived less than a mile away. And he came to our convention. He was very happy. And for us, my chapter, we bought a dog. And we named it AHEPA. And girls, it's a she. I also, right now, I want to introduce a good friend of mine. He's also involved with the service dogs. And Bob Frignonis. He's the vice chairman. Just so he can give his thoughts.
brother George Carazia here. He brought it to us about 2 years ago, and at first we were a little intimidated by the cost. It cost about $15,000 for each of these wonderful dogs, but we soon found out that the cost in other parts of the country is between $25,000 and $50,000. This organization that we found in Florida through another organization in New Jersey that was started because of the death of a young man, a young soldier, really does a great job raising funds, keeping their costs down. As George said, this was approved as a national project last summer, so it's not even a year old. Since that time, we have formed a private foundation called the HEPA Service Dogs for Warriors, Inc. It's a 501c3 corporation. We have a website for it. You can reach it through the national website. You can reach it through our website, our chapter's website, which is HEPA517.org. We're slowly moving it to branch out to the rest of the country. It takes time. There are a lot of other national projects that are very, very, very important to the organization, and we're trying to find our way, and I'm confident that we will get there. But I just want to go over some of the accomplishments we've had since last August when this became a national program. First, as George said, we got our first dog. Now, we're poised to get our second dog through the fundraising activities that we've had this year so far, which will be culminated by our cigar night, which is next Wednesday. Third dog will be obtained through the efforts of Daughters of Penelope, Chapter 374 in Toms River, that just had a comedy night, very successful, and dedicated all of the proceeds to purchasing a dog, which they're going to name Penelope. I give yourselves a hand, a round of applause, DDG Karen Marusas, who's married to one of our brothers, Philip Prestige, she took this and then ran with it with her chapter. I just hope that this dog is a female dog. This can be George went and met with the brothers at Flushing 326. They're dedicating the proceeds from their cigar night this month, and if it's a successful one, they may be able to purchase 2 dogs. They've definitely committed to one. Camden 69, a beloved Supreme Counselor Coriati's home chapter, they're dedicating the proceeds from their cigar night this year to purchase our 5th dog. And we're almost to the point that through the efforts, small efforts by a number of, I shouldn't say small, efforts by a number of individuals. We went to visit Delphi Chapter 25 in New York a few months ago. They gave us a check for $2,000 towards the program. Father Vasily from St. John the Baptist in New York was there, also a Vietnam veteran, also former pastor to some of our brothers when they lived in Brooklyn. He was so impressed by the presentation that Brother George made that he donated $1,000 of his personal money towards the dog. George's daughter-in-law ran a half marathon 2 weeks ago and asked him, what can I do? If I started a GoFundMe program for the half marathon, I'd get some money? And George, of course, said initially contributed $200 towards her GoFundMe. She ended up raising $3,000 towards the purchase of a dog. The son of one of our brothers is going for his Eagle Scout badge this year. He dedicated his Eagle Scout project to the service dog program. He already has a Facebook page with over 500 followers. We expect him to bring $3,000-4,000 in. And then last and certainly not least, as George mentioned before, when he was at the convention in Pennsylvania and met Grand President Jan Spanos, we were standing in front of her. She also was so moved by the program that she made a personal donation on the spot, as did her treasurer. So with those individual efforts, not part of a major fundraiser like a cigar night or a comedy night, those combined, we're almost towards our sixth dog. Wow. And that's without going west of Pennsylvania or south of Delaware. So we have a lot of ground to cover. 500 chapters or so in this country. If each one sent in $500, that's $250,000. That's 20 dogs. We can do that every year with our eyes closed. And that's what we're relying on the Supreme Lodge to get the message down to the Supreme Governors, to get the message down to the District Governors, to get the message down to the District Presidents, We're trying to do that at the lodge level. I'm also on the district lodge of District 5. We got to get the word out there, and let's get that 22 down to 0. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Well, someone I see as a hero. I'm very grateful that she's here. Her name is Shirley, and she's here with her service dog, Stu. And I'd like to call her up. She was
When I came back on my last tour in 2008 until 2014, I had no bed in my house. I was on the floor sleeping, and we go from room to room. When I for me, and I really thank the organization that I went through. That's his favorite pose right there. When I went down to K-9 for Warriors, they had a house that serviced 4 veterans at a time. They are now in a new facility, which now house 16 bedrooms, and they are giving these soldiers and vets a new life. So they have done a terrific. And right now, at first, I was the only one in Connecticut and getting the word out. They just had a young lady go through this thing.
I want to hear you.
Okay. There is a difference. We now have 3. So me and 2 other. And just talking to one gentleman, I told him it's a process, but to wait. And he did. He filled out the paperwork, and I've met up with him a couple of times. And he is so happy about the organization. The same thing. And knowing what this gentleman went through, I saw the end results while I was over there. So even though I wasn't in the actual combat, I saw the last results. And I'm so glad that he too went through this organization. It is just tremendous. Thank you.
And those women who have served our country to keep us safe and free. Thank you for your service, and thank you to Stu for helping you help us. If you have a friend or family member who is a member of the Daughters of Penelope or has not, please sign them up under our Project Recognize so that they can be honored as they should be.
This no longer belongs to Chapter 517. It no longer belongs to District 5. This is, and it was done in Las Vegas, it is a national, it is our program. We have a reporter with us, and he asked me if we could take some pictures with the leadership, whoever could come up.
Look at this room. I have one comment and I want to reply. Christos Anesti! Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, please. I got a map because if I don't, I'll be in Kentucky. I want to take this opportunity to welcome everyone from the Daughters of Penelope, Order of Mahepa, Maids of Athena, and Sons of Pericles to our 14th New England Tri-District Convention. At this time, I'm going to ask Brother Greg Simonis, who is standing in for his father today, who could not come because he's not feeling fantastic. If he would please give us our opening prayer. Please stand, remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
And just so you know, he wrote this prayer and handed it to me, so I'm doing it in his stead. Jesus Christ, our risen Lord, you came amongst your people after your resurrection and granted us peace. You also poured upon us the gift of the Holy Spirit on the day of Pentecost. Bestow upon us at this hour your divine grace and make us worthy to enter into your presence. Guide our lives in all things that do not be deceived by worldly pursuits, but rather seek the treasures of heaven. Lord, bless the proceedings of this convention. Bless the officers and all the members of the AHEPA family in whatever they are doing for the good of humanity. This we ask in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
If you would turn, please, and pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Turn, please, to the Greek national. Thank you, Brother Peter, for that reminder. I want everybody to realize we've got a couple of gentlemen walking around the room taking photographs. So please bear in mind, we're hoping to get some of these photographs in the AHEPA magazine. We're doing everything we can in New England to promote that. At this time, I would like to ask the hardworking group of people of the Nerc 14 Convention Committee committee to please stand. All of you on the committee, stand up. Please. This committee has been working on this commission since August of 2016. And for their devotion to getting this together, I ask you for the round of applause that you just gave them. God bless them all, and thank you so much. And brothers and sisters, I, as your committee chairman, I cannot thank you enough for the work that you guys have done. Brothers and sisters, if you would please rise as I call your name and remain standing when I recognize you. I'm going to recognize everybody in groups. I want to acknowledge the following dignitaries present with us today. I will ask each group to sit after recognition and then move on to the next group. Past Grand and Supremes, and I'm going to consolidate this. I'm not going to name individually. Please stand. If you would all be seated, please.